and your health is improving. I'm sorry you were having a hard time last time you emailed me, and I also wanted to make sure you got the email from the college or from me that the issue with the grades was resolved. For some reason, they didn't, although they showed it posted on my side, they did not show posted on the college's side. So anyway, it's all straightened out. So just let me know if it's not, though, because I did follow up with the college a couple of times, and it seemed like it was resolved. But I know you're trying to get done and get all that taken care of, so I want to make sure that I do what I can to help you. So for this science lesson plan, I think this is your first lesson plan you've submitted to me. I didn't see another one, which is fine. This was the first one. I just wanted to make sure that you were familiar with how I've been doing the feedback for these so that you can rework some things and, get the benefit of a good score. And also the whole point of the course is not to get good scores, but to learn. But I want you to get a good grade because you work hard. So just one thing that I would say right off the bat in terms of professional submission of lesson plans is you've got to get everything capitalized and edited. So be sure you do that on your final submission to me so that we know that's the one that goes in Foliatech. And you definitely, if you're submitting lesson plans in an official setting, those may be things that come, that they look at. What I would say in terms of students' backgrounds, you've put in here what they're going to do. So you can take out all these descriptions of activities. And what you want to do is where you have most are proficient in English and typical preschoolers. That's great. Be sure to give me their specific ages. So eliminate all of this. This is really actually what you're going to do. It's a description of the lesson. And just here put in how many children there are in the class. You can say they're proficient in English and typically developing 3 to 5 year olds or 4 year olds or whatever the age is, because the issue is going to be that whether or not the lesson is appropriate will depend on the age of the kids. And if you're in a school setting, it's okay to use videos a little bit, but I would not use those in a lesson plan. So you could use those for, I don't know, just as a context piece for the students, but I would leave videos out of lesson plans and just specifically stick with what you're actually going to have the kids do. Your grouping is great. I'm so happy that you're doing it in centers. Everything should be done in centers in early childhood, so even up through first, second grade, technically. So that's great. So you leave that alone. And the study of dinosaurs is fine because usually young kids are interested in them. Why is still a mystery to me. I wonder sometimes why they have interest in it, but it's fine, of course. I would say, this goal is fine. The issue is going to be how you measure it. And so you have students will use fossils and facts to explore and explain how dinosaurs lived and thrived. I would just be careful when you make a lesson plan objective, because you have to be able to share how you're going to measure that. So you might want to just gauge what they learned, and just be careful with that. I'll explain that in a minute when I get down to the assessment piece. So you have objectives these objectives, see, oh yeah, you have the standards down here, the science standards. You actually have here many lessons in here. You have a sensory bin where they can explore fossils and how they are, well, make sure you edit this. They are connected. I'm not sure I know what that means. How are they connected to what? Um, so, and using cardboard and supplies, we'll look at the physical body of a dinosaur, foot or claw. I'm not exactly sure. Um, I'll look at the description, but actually you just want to pick one of these. And if you look at the writing materials piece that you have here, I want you to eliminate this worksheet. But that can be your literacy lessons. So you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons in here. So I want you to pick one for the science, and then you can use this writing materials piece. They can write and draw about dinosaurs. That can be your literacy lesson plan, so you don't have to worry about that, and you can just write that up as a literacy lesson plan. I would not expect preschoolers to be able to complete and show a drawing of a dinosaur. I'm a little confused about that, but I would say you can also use drawing a dinosaur as a literacy activity. Anything that involves writing or pre-writing, pre-reading skills is a literacy lesson in early childhood. So your cardboard and art supplies to look at the physical body of the dinosaur, that could even be your math lesson, because you could have them count the number of claws the dinosaur has and things like that. If you had pictures of dinosaurs, that would be fun for them. So what I want you to hear me saying is you actually have 4 lessons here instead of 1. So those are just some suggestions I would have, that you can change it and end up with your math and your literacy lesson included. So all of these benchmarks and standards are fine. Let's see, differentiating food sources. So this is a pretty sophisticated assessment. This looks more like first, second grade, even maybe even third grade. I would say this, and again, this is more of a literacy than a science piece. So I would put this in your literacy lesson in terms of drawing and writing. The food sources and how they survived, what kind of dinosaurs they were. These are pretty sophisticated concepts for early childhood. I would just look at something very simple here. I'm really struggling with how to help you here, because these are things that are really more for older children. So I would say, if you're going to, in your literacy lesson, if you're going to use this as a literacy piece, I would just assess how they actually just use the actual work samples of what they draw as your assessment, so that you can learn about what they know from the drawing itself. And if you want, I can make you a separate video to show you how to do that. But this would not really qualify as an assessment. So we can keep working on that. And I'm not sure what you want to assess science-wise. So once you make that decision, it'll be easier. I think I'm going to stop here and let you make the changes up here first. and then send those back to me, and then we can keep working on the rest of it. I think the rest of it will fall in place for you. But this is actually many lessons in one, and the categories need a little bit of adjusting so that we can get you where you need to be. So let me know if you want to workshop this some other way other than me giving you this feedback, and I'll be happy to set up an appointment with you some other way that might be more helpful to you. If you're over at DePaul, I don't remember if you're in session 1 or 2 there. I live really close to DePaul, so I would be happy to come over and meet with you while you're there, and talk some of this stuff over. Just let me know.